is up, everyone? It is Ethan, Texas Railfanning, back with another video, and today we have the weekly series Railfanning the Austin and Glidden subs. Let me tell you, this came true. There's a lot of stuff we need to go in through this video, so let's get into it. I had no idea that a CN was going to be on one of the northbounds, considering that a CN hasn't been on the Austin sub northbound in a while. But I was really waiting on 1989 and 7400, which, by the way, it came like one of the nights before it was supposed to come. But anyway, I then got word, because as soon as I woke up, I saw a few texts from Tony Cantu and Cy, also known as Train Sightings. They both had texted me that a CN had passed the New Braunfels camera, and I was like, what the heck? That's gotta be a joke. Turns out, it wasn't. So, I booked it to Buda for this, as it was passing San Marcos. My Action 5 Pro was also recording. The next thing on the Austin sub foamy menu would be a CP and fake bonnet on VALT SNT 4-18. Fun fact, 789 was on this train, the same one that I got leading about 2 weeks to a month ago. Now from this point to wherever it stops, this is the interesting part. So basically, it left Temple around maybe 11-ish. I don't know when it left actually, but thank you to Alamo Railfan for pointing it out. Anyway, he said it would leave outbound out of Temple later that morning, but I don't know when it left, so I was just waiting from somebody, I was just waiting to hear something from somebody, and since it was also, the humidity was 90%, so it felt like 120 degrees. Now, because I had seen 789 before, I wasn't really keen on seeing the fake bonnet, I was just keen on seeing the CP leading a fake bonnet. Now, if for anyone says it's CPKC, if KCS isn't with it, I'm not calling it CPKC. It only deserves to be CPKC if 1, I see the paint, or 2, KCS and CP are together. But anyway, now that I realized that it would be coming a lot later than what it was supposed to, I thought it was going to be coming in the heat of the day, where it was reaching upwards of 120 degrees is what it felt like. But my friends were out there, and they were like, it still hasn't come yet. It was 6 p.m., and it still hadn't come yet. I was like, what the heck? That's so weird. And then I get a text from Tony saying that it cleared Lockhart, go to Wonderworld, which is where he was at. So, with it being about 105 degrees is what it felt like, I headed down with all my equipment to Wonderworld to see this thing. And then when we finally arrived, it was getting pretty close. So we checked the Hopkins camera, and sure enough, it was passing. Now, sadly, the signals were red over red, meaning that it had to stop, but it didn't stay long. It left after 3 minutes of just sitting there. And as we were on I-35 heading home, I look over to my left and see a UP Auto train heading northbound to Kyle. So, I knew that Amtrash would be next, so I hoped that we would get a meet between the two. But I'd never seen the meet done like this before. Because when we were in downtown Kyle, I saw the lights of Amtrak coming southbound down the hill. It was rolling real slow, which had me time to get out of the car and film it. Barely, but still able to film it with no tripod, sadly. But they kept Amtrak rolling through the siding so the auto train could have clearance, which I thought the auto train was going fast enough to where Amtrak would be nowhere near Kyle and be able to pull into the main track or the siding track in time for Amtrak to clear at full speed. But since I knew immediately after Amtrak passed, the auto train would be coming up grade even slower now, I had to focus back on the main line instead of the gates. But the thing is, the gates didn't go down because the train was going so slow, so I thought somebody was going to get hit. Thankfully, no one did, and the auto train came through with an AC-44 and a Gevo. Since it was just an auto train, I decided to head home and not film the whole thing. The next thing I would receive word about would be UP 1111 trailing 3 out of 10 on MSAFW. Now, I'm pretty sure every single one of you have seen this clip many times, but I had to throw it in here because it was part of the last week. So, I know a lot of you have already seen it, but why not see it again? Anyway, while I was eating dinner at my house, it was approaching San Marcos rapidly. In fact, right when I got done eating, I went to go check the San Marcos camera, and sure enough, the gates were down and it was passing. So once again, I scurried off to Buda to catch this thing. Then, I did not realize that this crew would be the best crew I'd ever see in my life. I thought I was just going to get away from the conductor, or possibly even nothing, because UP crews suck nowadays, but this definitely changed my mind. I was literally just standing behind my tripod with my jaw dropped because I'd never seen or heard a horn show like that before. The next thing I would get would be to my second favorite spot, Luling, Texas. But the train was already passing and it had a CP engine on it. I got it, credit from Tex-Mex Rails and on the Flatonia camera. So, yeah. I only got pictures of the mid-DPUs and I filmed the rest, but I don't want to bore you with that because it's really nothing special. But anyway, that's a wrap for this week of Railfanning the Austin and Glidden subs. Let's roll the photos. That's enough from me.